Hello and welcome back. It's time for Chit Chat with 2Ts. I am your host, counseling psychologist jvaldez, and today we will be speaking with my extra special guest. Yes, all my guests are special, but you know, when you're from Deep South, when you went to Holy Faith Convent Penal, and if awesome was a person, you just automatically become extra special, and that's who my guest is today. So please welcome Miss Keziah Lendor.
Hi.
Keziah, we're so happy to have you. It's been worth the wait. It's been worth the wait. I know you're extremely busy. Yes, we're happy to have you. And before we get into it, maybe you want to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh gosh.
I know, everybody's favorite question.
A little bit about myself. Well, I mean, I went to Holy Faith Convent Penal from Salt Lake City. I am a wardrobe stylist now. That's the career path I choose. You wardrobe stylist, creative director.
Yes.
Recently got into the film world, so I'm really excited about that.
Oh yay!
Yes.
Are you in front of the camera or are you behind the camera?
A bit of both, actually. I started producing and directing recently my own series, and then was kind of inducted into Trinidad and Tobago's film company's list of film directors and producers, female film directors.
I like how you just said that. You know, like that just kind of happened. Like that's a big deal, Keziah. Congratulations. I mean,
so much.
I was already proud of you, and you just kind of raised the bar. So good job. That is very exciting.
It is extremely exciting to start delving into a bit more than what I've been up to, which is a lot of fashion and styling and stuff like that. But it's something I've always been passionate about. I feel like a lot of the times, like I always loved, certain series, and I always love the idea of finding out, okay, how it's directing, a thing, and how is all of these different things a thing. So yeah.
I mean, you're legitimately the definition of a creative, because you have your hands in so many different areas. You are into fashion, you are into film, and I don't know how many people know this about you, if you wanted people to know, but I'm going to tell people anyway, that you were a dancer.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yes. You forgot. You're a trained ballet dancer.
I didn't, because up until university, I was still doing ballet.
Right.
So yeah.
See, a
little bit of everything,
Literally a little bit of everything. But that is always so. Let's go and when God sharing out, always just be like, yes, my bowl is big, and that's fine. But that's amazing. I can't stop saying amazing, because that is the way that comes to mind whenever I interact with you. So knowing Keziah from school and come up, it's really been a joy to see you attain the heights that you have, and knowing that the best is yet to come. Like, this is just, even though you've been doing a lot, there's still more. I know there's more to come.
Yeah, there's a lot more to come. Trust me.
Oh yeah, I believe it 100%. So, I mean, you kind of gave us a little bit of what's going on, what's in your cup figuratively. And I will tell you what's in my cup literally. So I have our featured product today, our sponsor, Twigs Naturals. It's my Twigs Naturals cup. Hey.
What flavor are you drinking?
I actually don't have Twigs Naturals in my cup today, Nigel. Let's fix this. I have my bush from my backyard. You all know how I feel about my bush. So I have some fresh ginger and lemongrass with a little touch of honey.
I'm drinking lemongrass.
Oh my gosh!
Lemongrass.
Twinsies! No, I've had Twigs Naturals lemongrass, and it says
so
all the things.
So
it says all the things. Yeah.
And I'm telling you.
Listen, and all their flavors.
Yeah.
Says all the things. So you have some lemongrass with you today?
Yes, I have lemongrass in my cup, and it's fantastic. So big up Twigs.
Big up Twigs Naturals. Whoop whoop. Yeah. I'm sure Nigel will be like, this is what I got myself into, mental health. Okay. But he's great people. So thank you very much to Nigel from Twix Naturals for sponsoring today's episode. You know, we always save the best for last. So that's what we're doing here. Hey! And is there anything special about your cup that you'd like to tell us, or is it just a regular schmegula
My cup? I call it like a greedy cup because it's kind of big.
You see what I was talking about, guys? So she's greedy with her cup of tea and greedy with her cup for the talent from God. So I'm not mad at it though.
It's so huge, like, you know, I can have everything in here: soup, food, everything.
Wine. Yeah.
Right?
So our very first guest of the season, Kiara James, that is a greedy cup. I mean, your cup is a baby cup. Yes, you check out that episode and you see. And that's Kiara's. Remember Miss James from school?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's her daughter. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, big up Miss James, big up Kiara.
Miss James.
Yeah, but when you watch that episode, you'll see what a greedy cup looks like, because it's huge. She still has the prize for biggest cup of the entire series. I think of the entire series. Yes, so thank you for sharing with us what's in your cup, literally and figuratively. And so that actually kind of leads us into what's happening with you. So we talked a little bit about that. And you're such a happy person. You take your craft seriously. And I'm sure when you do that, as serious as you are, because I've worked with Keziah before. For those of you who don't know, Keziah actually styled my birthday shoot, which I did in August of this year. Yes!
It was so much fun.
She's so much fun. She brings the energy. And oh my goodness, if perfectionist was a person, it's Keziah.
Oh my gosh.
No, but it's good because it makes her know, because she's so good at what she does. And there are things that I wouldn't think about. And she knows what she wants to pull out of you. So you said, okay, this is the idea that I have. I'm kind of not sure. By the end of the consultation, Keziah has made you sure of what you want.
Yeah.
And then she knows how to pull that out of you, all the elements. She's very hands-on. And so I appreciate that. But having that level of thank you. And having that level of attention to detail, are there things professionally and personally that, as we say here on Chit Chat with 2 T's, boil your water or make you upset, or any pet peeves like that?
Pet peeves. I wouldn't want to say like it's pet peeves. It's just stuff that I feel like maybe I have a lower tolerance for. And it's so strange what it is too, right? I'm really big on respect. And I feel like a lot of the times in the past, we've been conditioned to think you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, you own a business, and you have customers, right? Or clients. And the client or the customer is always right. Right? Like we were taught that about business from time and time again.
Yeah.
But I feel like that could be a bit of a dangerous saying or a kind of tricky line. Because sometimes you run into people, or you run into people that you work with that aren't very respectful to you as you are to them. And then, are you then in a position where you just accept that and you let it slide? And a lot of the times I don't know how to.
You can't. You have to call it, you have to call it out.
Yeah, and I feel like, is the customer still right if, they're mean or they're disrespectful, and not just to you, but like employees, or if their tone is all over the place, like, are they right in those regards? I mean, if there's a problem to be fixed, fine, but sometimes it doesn't even have a problem, and there's just people like that. And I feel like within my line of work, it's the one thing I feel like should be mutual. Not saying that I have run into it a lot. Ironically, thank God, I have not. And I have been so grateful because, my clients are just so respectful. They're so nice, regardless of how big they are. On the larger scale of things, on the international scale, they're just all such amazing people, so respectful. And when you have that mutual respect, it just makes the work so much more worthwhile. So for me, my pet peeve, I think, would be on occasion, if I have to bounce up people that don't give a sense of mutual respect in business. I mean, sure, you as a business owner, that's like your number one go-to to give respect. But it's so nice when it's mutual. It's mutual, actually. So I would say maybe that. Pet peeves, I don't really have pet peeves beyond just wanting that aspect of business to be mutual. I can't say there's a lot of that for me.
That's good. I would say, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think life is about just growing.
Yeah.
Growth and being able to be solution oriented and just stay calm in very tricky or very pressured environments, which is what I try to do all the time. So like pet peeves, there's very little that will get me like super irate on the job. A lot of the times my go-to thing is to remain calm and not be riled up. So yeah,
you are one of those people who can literally wear that t-shirt, keep calm, XYZ. You know, there was a time where everything was keep calm, whatever.
Yeah.
That is excellent, because I think, I mean, as an outsider looking at your job, I could see how that could be extremely stressful, and how there could be some high pressure situations. Yeah. And I think managing your responses, I mean, this is something that I guess all of us should be working on a daily basis, right? Managing your responses, that is top tier. Yeah. How you respond to a situation is so important, because I feel like a lot of the times being absorbing all the stress of whatever the situation is, whatever the problem is, really is counterproductive to whatever else you're trying to achieve. A lot of the times I have been in very stressful work situations where I would literally tell like my assistant or someone, just give me 5 minutes. I just need to be by myself, center, and I'm gonna come with a solution to the problem. And I always do. Like, you just need to because sometimes I will never forget it. Me and my assistant, we were driving in the car. We were dealing, it was like 2 a.m. We were dealing with an extremely stressful work situation. And I literally just told her, just give me a second. And I took like 5 minutes, just silent, just going through what the problem was, what the solutions would be, how we would get things figured out. And within that 5 minutes, I was just like, I have a plan. Like, and ladies and gentlemen, I've seen this at work. Where she's just like, I have an idea.
Yeah.
She solves the issue. So that is excellent, that you're able to manage yourself that well, because as we said before, your job, especially when I think about some of the people that you worked with, there's always so much on the line.
Yeah, a lot on the line. So there's no space really to panic or to become just as stressed as the client. Anything like that. Like, I can't afford in just what I do to become either more stressed or to make things more stressful for my client, or anybody that I'm working with. My job is to just be solution oriented all of the time. Like that. That's me from jump.
I was about to say, I feel like you've always been like that. So how did you even get into this world of fashion and styling and wardrobe styling?
Girl. I mean, this is not what I went to school for, right? I went to Holy Faith. I was in business studies.
Right.
Graduated. Went into university, the University of the West Indies. Big up UE, and studied political sciences and international relations. So my degree is in those two things. And
he just shocked Ricardo.
No, but here's the thing. while I was in university, and studying for my degree, I loved doing fashion shows on wall. I was in charge of fashion shows and just entertainment on my block. I became a writer for the university magazine, and I focused my writing on stories of creatives and fashion people in fashion. My first article was about a designer, and then I hosted the university's annual big runway showing, which is UE Gala. It's a UE Gala event, and I hosted that one year. Very nerve-wracking for me because it was my first major hosting gig.
Right.
Don't ask me if I did well. I cannot remember how well I did.
I'm sure you did.
I was mostly just making sure I looked the part, you know.
Which I'm sure you had down on lock. Yes.
I was serving the looks, but I was always involved in fashion when I was in university. And then when I would go to all my classes, I would literally be in fashion head to toe, going to class, always making a statement. I actually had one of my professors, Mrs. Vicessa, she called me out one day, not bad for her, because I was one of her favorite students at the time, and we were studying politics. And she said, you always reach, at the time I used to reach her class late, right? Because I had a
fashionably so.
Say those 3 to 4 hour lectures. I couldn't do it, Jill. I really couldn't do it. So I would always give myself a half an hour before getting to class. And when I would reach, I would always be dolled up. Yeah. And she would always choose me to answer questions or stuff in class. So she would always kind of like pick on me, as they would say. But she would say it's because I'm always coming to her class late and drawing all the attention.
Something that I was never accused of when I was in UE, because my uniform was jeans and slippers.
Too. So.
And you probably were.
So but it was ironic because I was just so full of all of this fabulousness. So it was a very weird contrast to be in a class of political sciences or doing law. And just like a fashionista, and coming to class late. So it was kind of a weird blend.
Well, to quote Tim Gunn, you made it work. So
thank you. So after that, I kind of decided when I graduated from university, I was like, okay, I did what I feel like my parents wanted me to do, which was to get a degree.
Yeah.
And then I went headlong into the fashion industry. It was not easy. It was one of the most challenging things I did in life, and it was very much a part I really had to decide and just to walk on my own for a bit with it, and push and build and build and build. And here we are today. Two companies in, not two, about 4 companies in, but a lot of still incognito because it's stuff working on.
Right. But it's coming to come, and we love that.
Yeah.
And so now you've studied political science. You did that. You got into fashion. You're in fashion. I mean, your name is almost household at this point. How does that impact your mental health? How do you manage yourself in terms of, because that's a huge, I don't want to say it's a huge burden to carry, but it's a huge responsibility.
Yeah.
It's quite a huge responsibility. The things that you do, the work that you do, the people that you work with, there's so many expectations of you, and the expectations are high. How does that impact your mental health?
You know what? I know that it has the ability to impact my mental health. So I intentionally make room to do a lot of self-care. Right. A lot of the times, I do have times when I'm overwhelmed mentally by everything, the expectations or the responsibilities that I do have, but also the need to always grow. Like, I'm somebody who loves being uncomfortable. Comfort is something I am yet to get used to. If I'm comfortable, it just ain't it. Like, it's not. So, like, I really thrive on being uncomfortable. The moment I start feeling too comfortable about something, I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing. Yeah, problems. I need to level up. I feel like, okay, there's room for me to do more. And a lot of the times, which is something I'm not sure you should do, but a lot of the times I'm like, well, me and Beyonce, we both have the same 24 hours in a day.
I love it.
How can I get my Beyonce on? You know?
I mean, and you've been doing it. You've been doing it. So, yeah, Beyonce, we love you.
So it's maintaining or managing my mental health is one of my priorities, because there's so much that goes on in a creator's mind.
Yeah.
When they're creating, when they're becoming, when they're growing, there are a lot of the times where I'm not satisfied with what I've done yet, and I'm just like, I should be doing more, or I want to do more. And I realized that I rarely ever took time off to realize or probably acknowledge where, how far I've come and some of the accomplishments that I have. And like, I kind of have to take a step back and say, wait a minute, like, you're doing all right. You're doing good.
I mean, I would say you're doing better than all right. I would, that's how I would put it. Yeah.
So, like, I have to take a time out sometimes and give myself space to just appreciate all that I've done and all that I am doing.
Yeah.
And I started doing that more often than not now. Self-care is necessary. Take a little staycation, or once I get the chance, go somewhere new, explore a new country. I love traveling as well. So, and just spending time with some of my closest friends. Like, I have
so important.
I have great friends that support me constantly, biggest cheerleaders, and I feel like being around them sometimes is just enough to just keep me, going.
Recharge that battery.
Yes.
It's so funny that you talked about, sometimes you don't allow yourself that space to appreciate your accomplishments. You have to actually actively say, hey, look at what you've done. You're capable, and remind yourself, because I think, especially for women, we're not often encouraged to do that. Yeah. We're socialized differently, I think, than men, where it's like, yeah, you did this, you should be proud, you boast about it. But with women, it's like, no, you don't wanna come off as conceited or arrogant or self-centered. So you be humble. But I can be humble and also appreciate that I did this thing that I worked hard for.
And I feel like society has made us feel like boasting or just being happy with who we are and what we've done is like wrong. I remember seeing this post and I was so taken aback by it. This woman, she was pregnant. She had her baby and then she had like a snapback. But her life is fitness and all those different things, and she was just posted being proud of that. And the backlash that she got for just being proud of being able to have like a snapback body. I understand that every woman's journey at that point in time with kids is different. But the fact that we are so, as a society at times, resentful of people who are successful in their own right, in their own way, is just so unusual for me, and it makes me really question, like, well, are we really happy as a society? Because if it is people have to dim their light down so that you don't feel bad about yourself, then something's wrong with that. You know, we should never have to dim down our lights or make ourselves seem small so that other people feel better about themselves. I think, you know, everybody has a responsibility individually to figure out what makes them happy, to chase after that, and find some level of contentment within their lives. And I feel like even in my life, like I've experienced where, wow, like I've had to let go of certain people in, you know, in my life, and let go of you know, friends or family that, you know, you feel like, wow, I have to shrink myself so that you could feel good about yourself. And I don't like that, you know. You know, because the thing is about, you know, when you have a big light, you know, for me, everybody benefits from that. Because you just go through everybody else. So for me, it's been incredible as a woman to see how society has brainwashed us into thinking that happiness, you know, you should have a sense of guilt when you're too happy, or you should be thinking about, oh, am I having too much fun? Like, and we rarely ever ask men or treat men the same way, you know?
Yes, sir, you're having too much fun. You should stop that. Never hear it.
Never, you know, men don't go through the same thing we go through. And even now, when you think about how beauty has, you know, affected women and how we see ourselves and the world's definition of beauty and how they have impacted how every single woman sees beauty and feels about themselves, to me, it's like, okay, we've got work here to do. Because we don't, man, whether they shave their armpits or not, we don't care. No one tells a man about it.
No one says you're too hairy, sir. But let me wear a vest and my arms not shaven. It's problem.
You're gonna have people on either side. Like, yes, girl, be a natural self. Then some people are like, why doesn't she have sleeves on? You know? It's really, and I wish every day, and one of the things I strive for every day is to make the world a place that could really just allow people to embrace themselves a bit more. In my line of work and that's why I love styling so much. I think styling is really my medium or my avenue of really allowing people to see themselves in the best way possible and see, you know, see the best within themselves. I love when, you know, I play dress up with clients and they said, you know, I never thought I would wear something like this, but I absolutely love how I look in it. Like,
correct. I mean, you did that for me. I could say that from first-hand experience. You did that for me. You know, because I was like, this is a milestone birthday and I struggle with, you know, how I perceive myself in terms of beauty. And you just turned that right on its head for me.
Yeah, I love working with women and men. I love my men clients. I do. But you know what? I do feel like there is a difference in working with men and working with women.
Yeah, of course.
Women are very much inclined about, you know, I want to hide the insecurities.
Yeah.
You know, and men are just like, you know, I just want to look good. You know, I just want to make it look good.
That they don't feel, and that's a societal thing.
They don't feel the pressure women feel, and how body conscious women are. And what I love is that I get to tap into these women and their insecurities while I'm dressing them or I'm giving an image consultancy, and I get to make them forget about their fears. About their body conscious fears and show them that the possibilities are endless. You know what I mean?
It's not like men don't have those issues. I want to put that out there. But it's definitely on a different scale. Definitely
two different spectrums. I think men have insecurities, but I think that men could be a little more accepting of those insecurities at times than women are. You know what I mean? Sometimes men are like, yeah, I have a big tummy. You know, I don't.
And
I don't
I'm
want
still
to
sexy. I'm still getting gal.
Yeah. Whereas a woman is like, you know, I need to hide my tummy. A man will know he has a big tummy and just say, you know, just make sure I look good. You know, but a woman might say, I have a tummy and I want you to hide it. Whereas I say no. Let's not look at what we want to hide. Let's look at what's gonna amplify and bring out the best to you. Let's talk about the colors. Let's talk about the silhouettes that just are gonna look good on your figure. Let's start there. Because I realize a lot of the time, and especially in the world of mental health, the language is so important. Language plays such an important role, right? So whereas a woman might say, okay, I want to hide these parts, and they tell me that in a consult, I'll say, wait, okay, how about we not talk about hiding? Let's explore what is going to be the best look for you.
Yeah.
And it's the language. It's not that I'm not conscious of what their insecurities are.
You don't want to place the focus there.
I don't want to place the focus on I have insecurities.
Yeah.
I want to place the focus on I'm a woman. I want to look my best. How can we make me look my best? You know, and when you start changing the language then helps you change the way you see yourself.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, if you're always
using
good insecurity to describe your body, that's how you're always going to feel about your body. Yeah. You're always going to be insecure about your body. You're always going to be insecure about something. But if you start using language about, you know what, I realized A-line dresses look best on me. I'm going to go for A-line dresses. Yeah. Then it just becomes about, this is the stuff that works on my body. This is what looks great on me. And it makes you then start to think, my body is great as it is. This is the type of stuff that looks great on it.
Right. And so you have a different mindset going forward.
Yeah,
I love that.
It really changes your mindset towards yourself. And it's important to change your mindset towards yourself because, you know, how you see yourself, that's how people feel that. People feel that if you're confident, people are gonna feel your confidence. You know, if you're shy, people are gonna feel your shyness. So for me, language is something that is incredibly important to mental health as well. I mean, we talk about words of affirmation, getting up on the morning, doing your affirmations. Why do we even talk about that? It's because words have power.
Words have power.
You know, it has power. And it has so much power that it could literally change or manipulate the course of your day.
Yeah. So true. And I'm glad that you said that and you're talking about, you know, beauty standards because you do work in the fashion industry and entertainment industry. Has that redefined for you, whether negatively or positively, your own sense of beauty and the way you perceive yourself?
Yeah, growing up, I was just a MAGA dry girl in school and otherwise, and I really didn't think about whether I was pretty or not. But I felt like that was one of the most beautiful things for me. I grew up, my grandmom always talking about how great I was at certain things, or just people in my family just saying this, that, the other. My mom was a fashionista, so clothes was everything to her, which is where I feel like obviously the sense of style and love of fashion probably came from, because she was such a diva all the time and clothes meant everything to her. How we dressed was important to her. But I feel like, the idea that you were, ugly or pretty or indifferent wasn't stuff that I really felt very conscious of. And I guess, you have, the people in your life and your family to thank for that to a certain extent, but I didn't really I wouldn't, I really, to be honest, didn't care too much about whether I was pretty or I was not
Yeah.
pretty. There were so much other things that I felt like I needed to be mindful of. I was a tomboy. I loved sports. You would know because I was like captain of the cheerleading team, captain of the cricket team,
Doing
captain
everything.
of Purple House. You know, so there
Okay,
was
Joan
so
of
much.
Arc's. This is one of yours.
No, but the thing is, I was so much more conscious of the idea that I wanted to be the best ability wise.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I love
You really want to focus on looks.
It was never really on looks. I never really focused on how pretty I was from, as compared to somebody else, which I wish so many girls grew up with. Because when I was younger, I feel like I grew up seeing so many girls consistently comparing themselves. And, I used to march to the beat of my own drum, always. So for me, it was always about, okay, if I'm in cricket, how could I be the best cricketer or the best cricketer I could be? In cheerleading, it was, acing the dance moves a lot of the time. With work, in literature, it was the rivalry was between me and, another girl in class always fighting to be on top the literature class or something like that. So for me, my definition of beauty was, more along the lines of those things. Beauty for me translated as me being great at all these different things.
That was one of the emphases at HFC. It was always about holistic women. It was always about everything, being able to do everything well and balance.
And in hindsight, to be really honest, which is why I absolutely love Polyfaith Convent Penal, because I feel like they really made me a lot of who I am today in terms of my mindset towards beauty, being a woman, what being a woman meant in this society in the now. Because for me, being an awesome or an amazing woman really isn't just about my looks,
Yeah, it's more than that.
Yeah. I define being an amazing woman by so many different things, what I'm capable of doing, how, independent I'm capable of being, but at the same time, how much I allow myself to be vulnerable, because, being independent requires some grit and toughness, but at the same time, I don't abandon my innate need to be vulnerable and soft at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's just about really finding and striking the balance of that.
which is easier said than done sometimes.
It is. Listen, it's a struggle. Let me tell you. When you pay your own bills, you don't need anybody to do stuff. You love enjoyment and you're able to manage all of that on your own. You're made into a tough girl, and so finding the balance of softness is a challenge. I'm not gonna dispute that. It has been for me. It has been for me.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
No, it's not easy. It's definitely isn't.
Always a work in progress, as are we. And earlier, just before we wrap up, one of the things that you were saying was that sometimes you have to, because that stuck with me. Sometimes you don't allow yourself to, just kind of sit back and be like, yeah, I did this thing. So I'm giving you the space right now to talk about some of the things that you did well. What is there any accomplishment that you would like to share with us? Something that anything in your journey, within your career that you're proud of that you want to share? You have
I have a lot of proud moments.
You sure do.
I have a lot of proud moments in my career. trying to like consolidate everything.
You can choose how many you want to talk about. That's fine.
No, there were some really nice moments, even in the come up when I wasn't even fully a stylist yet, like having features in Vogue, which felt like so, fine reaching, like, just thinking, oh, I'm this island girl and I'm, featured in Vogue was like, wow, like the world isn't so far away like we always feel it is. Like, it's within reach, and I think like, that was a momentous moment for me being featured in Vogue like twice because it just allowed me to expand the territory of my dreams and say, okay, this is where I felt like were the borders for my dream, but since that happened, this is the borders of my dream. Yeah. Or not even the borders. Now it's kind of limitless because now I could really accomplish some amazing things, which I did went on to do, right?
Yes, absolutely.
I think like just becoming a business owner in every way was also a huge accomplishment for me because I feel like a lot of the times we don't understand what goes into being a business owner.
Very true.
Like accounting and taxes, all these different things that I have decided to do the right way as a stylist and a full-time stylist does that. Like, this is what pays the bills and this is what allows me to enjoy, life. And it's something that I know a lot of people would have struggled with. A lot of creatives in the Caribbean struggle to make their creative dreams a reality. But I'm so happy that I was able to do that for myself. In very non-traditional ways. So
that's exactly the word that was in my head, non-traditional, because that's what you're doing. A lot of people are like, oh, fashion stylist, you can't make any money off of that. And here you are like, yes, I have a whole business. Like, what do you see?
I think like one of the questions I got a lot when I started it was, are you doing okay with that, or does it pay well? Or and obviously at the start, everything is gonna be,
it's hard.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm so proud of myself for just sticking with it and for really believing in these dreams. And that's the one thing you have to have. You have to really bet on yourself. Okay.
You have to bet on yourself.
You've got to bet on yourself, and you have to believe with every muscle in your body that you're gonna make it. Because there are going to be times that are extremely challenging and that you will want to give up. And it's in those moments that you have to remember why you started and just keep it going. There are days when you really don't want to be doing this and you just kind of like, this is not it. This is and it's in those moments you really have to muster up. And I think those moments are the true tests. For if you're really cut out for this. So I think just that in itself was a huge accomplishment for me. Creating and carving my own path, I would say, was a huge accomplishment for me. Like, even to this day, I can't really say that I know a bunch of stylists that are full-time doing this, paying all the bills with just this kind of thing. There are a lot of different things that you kind of have to delve into to make it work. But for me, I just stuck with this. I was like, I'm going to make this work for me.
And you've been making it work.
And it takes a lot of mental strength to do that. Being an entrepreneur, being a business owner takes a lot of mental strength, a lot of commitment and hard work. Long nights. What else? I mean, there's so much things.
But I think those were really good ones.
Montana's wedding.
I'm glad you said it because I was waiting.
He's one of the greatest icons in our country, and I think it's so crazy how that came about because I remember I had never worked with him a day in my life before, and I remember hearing that his final Marshall Monday show was coming up. And I was in my kitchen making breakfast one morning. It came across on radio, and I literally said to myself, if I ever had to work with Marshall any time in my life, it would be this time.
That was
the next day, his manager had reached out to me. It was so
wow.
It just really felt like such a divine moment or a connection, because I was just like, this has to be a dream. I literally just said yesterday, if I had to work with this man at any point in time in my life, it would be now. It would be in this monumental moment for him. I didn't even know I was doing his wedding when I did, but I did, and it was fantastic and monumental.
It was fantastic, yes.
Yeah, and then it goes down in history, right? Because it was a very historic event at the Red House. So just having those things in the backdrop, and being, his stylist for his wedding, his stylist for his final Marshall Monday show, doing the entire team and himself, and about 48 looks, 48 changes.
Wow.
Was remarkable. Yeah, and also this year being the wardrobe production management team for his big show in Barclays Center this year in New York was phenomenal. And I feel like really what I have, I think my obedience to purpose, or God's purpose for my life, has taught me more than anything else. I think it has been a very learning experience for me, because you go into these things with goals, right? And
of course,
to accomplish certain things.
Yes.
Never thinking you're gonna be the person sitting in the student's chair, learning,
as you go.
Stuff that's happening to you at that point in time. So it's been very humbling to really accomplish all the goals that I have been accomplishing. I mean, starting my new company, Kez Studios. So there's Kez Styles, which is my styling company, and I recently started Kez Studios to focus more on things that is TV and film production wise, and the content that I could do in that. And it's been humbling because, all our dreams are valid, and it is possible to be whatever and whomever we want to be with hard work and consistency, because a lot of people don't understand that. Sure, you could be a hard worker, but it really kind of boils down to consistency too. Consistency is a part of the recipe for success. Being consistent, being disciplined, having the strength to manage yourself. A lot of people don't talk about that, but in the line of owning your own company, one of the challenges that you constantly have is being disciplined enough to manage yourself. If you're going to wake up 5 or 6 in the morning to get your work day started like everybody else, you got to wake up that day, that time every day.
Yeah. Yes. Don't I know it? Because you have given us so many nuggets. There's so many things to take away. I don't know, Ricardo is probably going to lose his mind which ones to choose to highlight, because there's so many. So before I thank you officially, I just want to know if you would want to let our viewers know, actually, and listeners, where can they find you? How can they find you?
On social media, you can find me on Kez Styles, Kez Styles, Inc. on Instagram. So Kez Styles Inc. on Instagram, Kez Styles on Facebook, Kez Styles on Twitter, kezstyles.com as the website, Kez Styles on YouTube for the Kez Styles series. So everywhere, Kez Styles.
Kez Styles. So thank you so much for just taking time out of your uber busy schedule to be here. We really, really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
This was such a rich conversation. I mean, we have a lot of rich conversations here, but I really enjoyed this. As I said, always making me so proud. Our little island girl from deep south who's just achieving great things, and who continues to achieve great things. And I pray God continues to bless you on this journey, and that you take care of your mental health. Continue to do that. Yeah.
Continue.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much as usual.
Thank you so much for having me too. I really
Not a problem. Thank you for your yes. Thank you for your yes. We're so happy that you were able to come. So once again, great thanks to Keziah Lendor for being with us. I don't want to just stop at Wardrobe Stylist, because she's so much more than that, as you would have heard.
Creative director,
producer, director, model, all of the above, writer. You know, so thank you so much for being here and just sharing a bit about your journey with us. We truly appreciate you, and we wish you all the best. All right.
This is awesome.
Thank you. All right, viewers and listeners, thank you so much again for tuning in. And we just want to see continue to normalize the discussion of mental health. This is not something to be afraid of. We don't want this to be taboo. This is something any and everybody should be willing to talk about. You heard Keziah talk about it. So even in the fashion industry, we're talking about it, right? The creatives. And of course, in terms of helping us manage our mental health, special thanks to Twigs Naturals. All right, Keziah, you love it, right? And I know she was a fan from before with her great
Yes, I was so excited to get my Twigs natural teas because I have been a fan like ever.
They're excellent, and so we thought it was the perfect pairing. And so we thank them for being on board from season 1 because they understand the importance of mental health, and tea plays a big role in that. Like for me,
I think it does. You know, it's so ironic, Jill. I was actually reading an article today that was talking about why Japanese people tend to live so long and pretty much age backwards. It's the tea.
It's the tea.
Number one, there were like 50 reasons why. Number one was.
And you really can't get better than Twigs Naturals with their range of flavors. Still waiting on my bamboo tea, Nigel, but we'll talk about that. You know, there's a full range, and we encourage you all to make sure and get your hands on some Twigs Naturals, okay? Because they're in the stores, they're in the groceries. All right. Oh, Ricardo, are we sticking again?
What is Ricardo saying?
Ricardo, I don't know what's happening with him today. But again, thank you, Twigs Naturals, for keeping us calm and keeping us relaxed. And we look forward to continuing this partnership with you as we go forward with Chit Chat with 2 T's. All right. As usual, I've been your host, jvaldez. And until next time, take good care. And